Good morning, children. Today in Social Science History for Class 9, we are taking up Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. Now, we come to the topic today, Industrial Society and Social Change. Now, there was so much of turmoil in the countries, and there was a clash of ideas regarding how these social and economic changes should be brought about. And as a result, new cities came up, new industrialized regions developed also, then railways expanded, and of course the Industrial Revolution occurred. Now, Industrial Revolution was the use of machinery for production so that the capitalists could produce more and sell more and earn more profit. So that is how the system of capitalism emerged. Now, when we talk of industrialization, now naturally there were a lot of people, there were a lot of workers required. So it brought men, women and children to the factories. Why? In search of employment. Because a lot of people were unemployed, and this was one of the major problems. Why? Because a lot of people had become unemployed because the demand had reduced, and when the demand reduced, obviously, so they naturally had difficulties. So they were in search of employment, they were in search of work, and therefore they came to the factories. So men were there, women were there, and children also. But the condition was not very satisfactory. Why? Because they had to accept the working hours were very long, the wages were poor, the wages were very less. But they were not in a condition to bargain, because at that time there were no such trade unions that we have today. So working hours were long, wages were very less. Then besides that, there was a problem of housing and sanitation also. This became a common issue because of urbanization. So there were many consequences also, one can say, or the effects of industrialization. Now, we talked about liberals and radicals. Liberals were the ones who were tolerant towards religion. They were against the absolute power of monarchs, and they believed in independent judiciary. Whereas the radicals supported the right of women to vote, which the liberals did not. They also opposed the privileges of the landowners and the wealthy factory owners. And most important, that they were against the concentration of power in few hands. So these were the views that they held. So with the result, what happened now? But at this point of time, liberals and radicals tried to find solutions, tried to find out ways and means of how the problems can be resolved. Most of the industries that we see at that time were privately owned. And most of these were the liberals and radicals who were the owners of these property, and they were the ones who employed the workers. And because of good trade, they had earned a lot of money, they had accumulated a lot of wealth because of their industrial ventures and due to a lot of trade. But they felt that efforts should be encouraged, that good health of the workers and education of the workers should be emphasized upon. They felt that if the workforce is healthy and they are educated, they will contribute more. They also opposed the privileges enjoyed by the aristocrats and felt that the individual effort should be valued more besides labor and enterprise. So they felt that the system that they followed at that time was not really good for the workers. They believed that if people could have freedom, they could enjoy freedom, they could get employment, the society would definitely develop, and the conditions would become better, or the conditions would improve. Now we come to the outlook of the nationalists, radicals and liberals. Some nationalists, liberals and radicals wanted revolutions in order to put an end to the kind of government established in 1815. Many countries were ruled by monarchs. In France, Italy and Germany and Russia, they became revolutionaries. That is, the nationalists, liberals and radicals, they became revolutionaries, and the main objective of the idea was to bring an end to the system of monarchy that existed in most of the countries at that time. They wanted to create nations. Why create nations? So that the citizens would have equal rights. Like earlier, we used to have the aristocrats, we used to have the privileges given to certain people. They did not want that system to continue any further. Then after 1815, we see that Giuseppe Mazzini, an Italian nationalist, conspired with the others. Conspired means secretly planned with others to establish a system where there could be equality and equal rights could be given to the people, to the citizens of the country. So everywhere we see that in France, Italy, Germany, Russia, everywhere these revolutionary ideas spread, and therefore the people desire to have a change in the society and as well as the economic system also. Now we come to the coming of socialism to Europe. If we see that due to industrial revolution, the system of capitalism had emerged, and capitalism where the capitalist was only concerned about his own profit, and he was not concerned about the welfare or well-being of the workers. And there was concentration of property also and money in the hands of these capitalists only, whereas the masses and the workers remained poor only. So if we see that by mid-19th century, socialist ideas spread in Europe. Now socialists, because of the evils of capitalism, socialist ideas were spread by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. They were the ones who advocated socialism, where they felt that there should be a system where the production, distribution, and exchange should be owned and regulated by the community. That there should be no private property owned by people, because a lot of evils had emerged because of the capitalist system. So the ideas of these socialists were that they were against private property, because that is what existed in the capitalistic system. And they also felt that this ownership of private property was the main cause or the root cause of all social evils that prevailed at that time. Then they also felt that because the owners of industries employed workers, they were not concerned about the people. They were not concerned about their welfare, but they were mainly only concerned about their profits and how their money could be multiplied. So they campaigned that. So these socialists campaigned that they should do away with the system of private property. That there should be no individual owning private property. It should be controlled collectively, so that all the evils could be eradicated from the system. So these socialist ideas spread everywhere, and the main person to advocate this was Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Thank you.